Hello, it's Chantel. Good morning. I wanted to talk today, just 5 or 10 minutes, about the client practitioner relationship. It is something I am thinking about all the time, both in my personal private practice, in the clinic I work at, in the classes I teach, and in what I write about. I'm very interested in this relationship. And I've come to discover that the most important thing that I can do is really look at me. And if I can really look at this and tend to this and soften this and allow things to fall away that are getting that are disrupting or interrupting any kind of part of the healing process I'm involved in, that's going to make it so I can be of greater service. It's going to make me a better practitioner if I could get out of my own way, right? So you could think about, like, if you were to ask somebody, if you know somebody who is in the healing world, is a reflexologist or a body worker or a nurse, a craniosacral therapist, etc., and you were to say, why do you like doing what you do? Or, why do you do what you do? Oftentimes you might hear, it's because I love helping people. I like to care for others. It'll be that kind of response, right? Which I think is very, very true. It's true. And I'm very curious also, where does that come from, right? Where does that sit in our bodies? Sometimes it could be that somebody had an experience just growing up where it could actually be either side. It could be that they felt they weren't listened to, they felt they weren't cared for, and so as an adult, they want to care and listen to others. It may also be that they had this incredible care modeled to them, that they saw somebody caring for others and they want to be like that too, right? It could be that. It could be that they were witness to someone not able to care for themselves, right? Or somebody hurting somebody else. And that makes them want to stand up for others or care for others. It could also be that, and you'll see this maybe at quite young ages, where it becomes more prevalent, is a child caring for an adult or someone who can't care for themselves. So in this case, it almost becomes like part of their makeup, right? Because at such an early age, they were doing that. So as an adult, it almost becomes part of their physiology, right? So, we have this very unique opportunity as reflexologists, practitioners, body workers, etc. We have a unique opportunity to be with our clients very differently because we're in a bottom-up profession, right? We're not talk therapy. We're not doing top down. We actually are working with the client's nervous system, specifically with reflexology, right? And this is, this is how we experience our, if you've been in my classes, you've heard me say this before, right? Our external world, all this external stimuli has to be processed internally, right? So that tree, that house, that lamp, that suitcase, all of this from the outside has to come within and be processed. So if I'm looking at it, tasting it, touching it, it's touching me, that goes to my spinal cord and my brain. That's my central nervous system. So that external world gets processed via my spinal cord, my brain. The thalamus receives it, shoots it out to all the areas of the brain for processing, right? Into that gray matter. Things are lighting up, things are shutting down, things are being ignited. All that processing is taking place. And then a decision is made what to do about it, right? A sensory response, a motor response, etc. So something to consider is, if everything has to be processed internally, as a practitioner, we really have to learn to step back, right? We really have to learn to be a facilitator or a witness to someone else's healing process, right? In this way, we're empowering them. We're giving them, they get to have a sense of agency, right? That their own power. So we won't say it's going to be okay, this too shall pass. Or certainly not in any case would we say you really should leave that person, you should do this, or anything of that nature, right? We don't know. We're not in somebody else's world. But they get to have an external experience via touch in this case, right? And then internally they begin to have processing. I often think about like the experience of the parasympathetic nervous system, right? It's almost like we're getting to help people. It's like rehabituate. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. It's almost like reintroduce, rehabituate. We want to, maybe it's just habituate. We want to habituate their bodies to a new way of experiencing their nervous system, right? So if somebody is like always hyper aroused and vigilant and always here, or they're hypo aroused, right? They're just very much within themselves. How do we bring that back to balance? It's through the central nervous system. We're not doing it. Their body is doing it themselves. We just get to facilitate the process, right? So that's one thing to consider. Another thing is, I will say about that, because I mentioned the word facilitator, we get to create a safe space. That's like one of our main jobs. I'm going to create a safe space for you to enter, and I'm going to be witness to your healing process. And I'm going to do techniques and methods that will help facilitate that, but it's your central nervous system that's going to be doing the work. Very empowering in this way, right? So that's one thing. And then I wanted to bring up, I'm going to be teaching a class in 2 weeks on July 29th. I'll bring it up in a second. I'll share my screen. And a lot of what we're going to be doing, the class is how to support clients struggling with trauma and addiction. So we are going to be looking at trauma and addiction. We're going to be looking at how that is processed via our neurological system. We'll look at different parts of the body and the brain that are affected when someone is in active trauma and addiction. And then we're really going to be looking at ourselves, really looking at this piece. Right? How do we soften this? How do we let go of certain things in order to better be there for our clients? And one of the things we'll be looking at is kind of, you could always think of like there's almost these unconscious feelings, right? A client and a practitioner, especially those with trauma and addiction, are very sensitive to what they'll experience in someone else, whether it's a caregiver or a practitioner, right? So you've heard of transference. That's often, talked about when we look at therapy, but it's going to be in the practitioner client room as well. And one of the, well, let's talk about one. We're going to talk about many more in the webinar, but one of them is this sense of like, I got you, I'll pull you up, right? This sense of the practitioner wants to help the client to feel better, right? And in so doing, we think we're helping, but we're actually stripping the client bare of their opportunity to look for resources within themselves, right? So we're going to get to learn how to enter our back body and to shift our words a little bit, right? So that we're not dominating or trying to help. I mean, that's the only way I could put it. It's so basic. We're going to remove ourselves from trying to help or fix or correct or control our client in any way. And in so doing, they get to move through their healing process. Okay, so I'm going to bring up my screen because I just want to talk about this class because it's coming up soon. So share screen. Okay, so this is the class, how to support clients struggling with trauma and addiction. It's going to be Saturday, July 29th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's 11 a.m. my time. This is sponsored in part by the Reflexology Association of Ohio. I'm going to be going to Ohio in September and teaching a 2-day live workshop on trauma and addiction. So this is like a little taste for those of you who will be there. For those of you who are not able to go, you could join this one instead. And I just wanted to point out down here, it's $20. If you are a member of any state association anywhere in the world for reflexology, it's $20. If you're a non-member, it's $25. And then you just click here to sign up. And you do it through my website, right? So if you go to my website, the at-home experience, if you were to go to offerings, this is probably the easiest way to do it. You'll just click here and you'll see, David, wait. it'll be his class next week, next Saturday, July 22nd. And then after his class, the week following is mine, July 29th. And that's how you sign up right there. So I hope to see you there. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can easily get a hold of me via my website. Just go to the contact page and I'll respond within 24 hours. Have a peace-filled day. I hope I get to see you at the class and talk to you soon. Bye.